The first point that we're going to be focusing on is going to be setting up the stroke. It's really important because it's going to lay the foundation for the entire freestyle stroke. This is what a lot of swimmers miss. So let's start by imagining that you're doing a chin-up. What I want you to do is I want you to place your hands up towards the bar where you would get that grip. For most of you, I'm going to imagine that you probably put your hands right here. And let me say that everybody's just going to be slightly different to exactly where their power is. But the reason why you probably put your hands right here is this is where you have the most strength. Feel confident that you can pull yourself up and be in that strong position that you can pull yourself up. So this is where we want to start your stroke from. Now, when we do chin-ups, the wider we go, the weaker we are, and the more load we put on the front of the shoulder, which is just going to create injury. Now that we understand the correct positioning and where we want to be, let's move on to the catch. We talk about this all the time, but catching is an advanced skill. It's a lot harder than body position and quite a complicated movement. So be kind to yourself when you're applying our techniques. What happens to a lot of swimmers is they overreach, which means as the hand's in, we kick, and we have this dead spot in the front of our catch. But when we enter in with fingertips first, we allow ourselves to travel, glide, and then we have more time to set that catch up. And that's the catch point of your stroke. Again, a lot of swimmers miss the fact of how important the entry is. You hear this buzzword all the time, EVF, which is often misunderstood. EVF can only happen when the hand is entering correctly. This allows for that early vertical forearm. So let's go back over it again. Hands are shoulder width apart, like you would do a pull-up, keeping that nice, big, open armpit. And then we want to be focusing on the entry of the stroke. If we enter in and do what we call overreaching, which means the elbow is entering in before the hand, you can identify this quickly with a simple video on the side and just slowing it down. Once you can ensure your fingertips are entering in before the elbow, you now have time to feel the water at the front of the stroke. Then as we watch myself swimming right here, you will see that the hand goes in. I have time to set up the catch as I glide forward, and this is the beginning of having a really, really high standard of connecting with the water. Now, what's really important about this is where you're going to have your most access to the power in your stroke. If the catch is not set up right, you'll never be able to generate the power in the stroke. So what's awesome about this kind of catch is, well, if anybody's watched any Olympic swimmer, any of their underwater footage, you'll notice that all great athletes have access to the early vertical forearm. And it's not just in freestyle. Freestyle is here, backstroke is here, butterfly is here, and breaststroke is here. So really, when you're learning the early vertical forearm, by first perfecting your positioning, you're also learning a stroke application of technique that is going to apply to all the strokes.